Look at God. Look at God work. I'm just glad for the opportunity. Have you ever been thankful for the opportunity to be able to give? Because I love to receive, but I am so thankful that I have the opportunity to remind myself and my giver, and my receiver of what it is that they did for me. So there was a time where I wasn't in denial of the how mean and abusive my ex-husband was. I sometimes when you just get accustomed to things, then you just like to just flip that off, right? But there's just other things that you may not be able to cover up, and not being able to go out as an adult, and how you're wording your, I need to call or do this or do that. It was actually rubbing other people the wrong way. And so when it was that time when I was hearing the questions of my community group, I could cover it, not so much cover it up, because it was as though it was an intentional lying, but it was more so in denial. And so I remember deciding to leave maybe 3 years later. And I remember going to my friend's house, and it was after I got locked out that it was really cold. She gave me her clothes. Then the next day we began to text, and she had so many connections of people that had gotten divorced, and they sent over their lawyer's information. And then when it came to where I didn't have the money to hire a lawyer, she was just like, well, there's other people that I know that have gotten married, but they didn't hire a lawyer, but they were able to have someone by their side. And so they gave us information of a public attorney, a public defender. Then they gave us information of the law library, how you can go down to the courthouse and you can get this information, and you can look up these words, and you can get knowledge of these documents and have it filled out. And going through those steps, and then waiting on the feedback, and then doing what was next in that process. And then that particular friend, that older friend, and her had her husband come to me, and he sat me down, and he was saying to me, my wife has had you on her heart for the past couple of years. And I keep asking her this and asking her that, and she'll tell me what you've said per you guys' meetup. And I just want to tell you that any man that is hurting you that way, but yet still living with you, he wants something. He needs something. And I promise you now, he doesn't like you. Not only does he not love you, he doesn't like you. He's not protecting you. If he's hurting you the way you say he's hurting you, and I've seen how he doesn't even call when you're here, even if you're lying. No one is calling your phone, and you're here at night, and he's not checking on, did you already say I'll be out for 12 hours day after day? And he was just like, what kind of relationship? So he was like, let's just say he he doesn't like you, and he's just, and there is something that he just doesn't mind hurting you. I guarantee you now, for him to keep coming around, my older friend's husband was just like, he's using you, and that you need to find out what it is that he needs, and you need to cut him off. So when Jay was telling me this, he was just like, you need to find out what it is that he needs from you. He said, you told my wife that she has you bought a gun because he keeps punching you while you're sleeping, and you call the police, and the police decide that you need to then leave the scene, or you tell the police what it was is that I was making the mistake and saying I have somewhere to go. I'd hate for them to leave, and then he continue whenever they leave. And a lot of times he wouldn't continue hitting. He would just continue being upset that I called the police, because he would never know until they arrived at the house. And because you can also text the police as well. And so when the police would come, they always come to domestic disputes. They always came to our house with one male and one female officer, and then they would separate us, and the female would come to me and just ask, well, what is it? Okay, if it's arguing, then y'all just need to separate y'all would need to calm down. But the second time, they would, if they ever came twice at one night, they're able to see that whether or not they're the same officers I responded earlier, they're always going to ask for one person to leave. And I just want to let you know, do not make the mistake of saying that you are going to go if you're the abuser. If you're the one being hurt, if you're the abused, let him be the one to leave, or her. Let that other person be the one to leave. You tell the officers, I'm not leaving. I'm here with the children. I'm fine. I'm safe. I'll ask, oh, well, when do I have to let him in? They're like, that's up to you. But if he does live here, he does have a right to be here. And I guarantee you the next day, whenever I would leave, and I'm asking to be let into the home, he would never open up the door. It's happened maybe anywhere between 5 and 10 times over the 12 years while we were married. And I'll call I'll call the police, and the police will be like, well, you said you were arguing, so we're not going to force this guy to open up the door because you already shared with us that we're arguing. So don't make that mistake either. And they'll ask me to use the key. I'll go to the leasing office, and then they'll say, okay, well, we don't give the key out because just for safety measures, you have to have your own key. I remember being dragged out of the house still. They were just like, oh no, if you don't have the key, then we can't just give it out. We only have one copy for maintenance. So I'll just be walking around until he'll lie. I'll ask the neighbor. I remember going into the neighbor's house, and then once I was with the kids, and then he started calling the kids' name. Why would you come outside and come in front of this post is not about that, but he started calling the kids, and the kids ran downstairs. We were in a townhome, and they ran downstairs, and the neighbor was just like, oh, I thought you said he wasn't home. I was like, he wasn't home, didn't you? That's why you opened your door, because you heard us banging, and y'all asked if we were okay. And she was like, you sure right. He didn't hear that banging? I was just like, he did hear the banging, but he saw that we were fine and that we had left, and so he just started calling your name. He knew that we were here. That's why he went to your front door and just started calling my son's name. Anyways, why wouldn't he just call my name? Anyways, this friend now, my older friend and her husband, the one that were clothing me, giving me the resources for how to get divorced, and he actually he was like, here, bullets for your gun. He keeps punching you. You put one in his leg. And I was like, okay, thanks. I never ended up using it. I was actually too scared to use it, which is crazy because I wasn't too scared to call the police, but they were like, hey, y'all just need to separate. So still got hit, and I was like, I'll just leave. So now they're in an issue where they have a loss in their family, and so I don't have any money in my account, but because of their loss, they don't have as many hours to go into work just because they're grieving. And so what I did, go to a food pantry I used to utilize, but I don't go there anymore because they give out ingredients. They're giving out fresh produce, and I keep bringing it home. I fill my first, second, third, fourth shelf in my pantry with canned corn, canned beans, canned green beans, to make cakes. I have flour, I have packages of sugar, I have all these things, but these are things to like cook. I have Thanksgiving dinner in my house right now. I still have it'll be a week tomorrow. I still have turkey left, I still have gravy, I still have mashed potatoes, I still have stuffing, but I'm eating it all myself. My kids were eating like a bird, and all they want is chips. But I'm doing this video because I said, let me go back down in the line, get fresh produce, and I'm gonna give it to this older friend. And when I got there, she was like, cabbage, there was like celery, there was another head of lettuce, and there was it's a large box of boxed goods, and then there's 2 grocery bags full of frozen meat, and then there's 2 grocery bags full of soda. And so they were like, oh, we don't drink soda, but I was like, okay. But she was like, but you know who does? All the people that have been visiting us because of our loss. This is what we will then give them, because I'd hate to feel anxious about giving them food that we just got from you. So we will entertain them with these soda cans. And so that was it was a blessing to me to then remember that I could be to remember what they've done for me, and to think about how I can creatively be able to give at this time. I don't have money in the account. I would love billions in my account, but I do have access to how I can be of some help to this wonderful family, and I was able to do that. And this is my testimony. And we drown out Satan through the word of our testimony and through the blood of Jesus Christ. And I am thankful for that. Always be in the mood of giving and remembering others at their time. They were there for me. They were helping me to see, like, girl, pull it together. You continue desiring to get back into that house, you desiring to be one, and you desiring to squash all arguments between you and your ex-spouse, and not just see that this is not an argument, this is something that he has conjured up just to make it seem as though you are not behaving at a level that he does not operate on I'm thankful for that. And if there's anything that we can do, not just for ourselves or for someone else, use your time and your days and your opportunity to demonstrate the love of Jesus Christ with those that, whether you have it or think that you don't.